Today we'll be checking out scales, which are the fundamental tools of building all melodies in music. There are many different kinds of scales used throughout modern music, but the most common scale is the major scale. And here is what the major scale sounds like. This scale should be very familiar to almost all of you, and the notes within this scale make up a majority of the melodies found in modern Western music. When played on the piano, the C major scale happens to use only the white keys. So what is a scale? A scale is a succession of notes that are arranged in a specific order of intervals. The major scale is a diatonic scale, which means it contains 7 notes. Each note of the scale is referred to as a scale degree. So the first note is the first scale degree, second note is the second scale degree, third note is the third scale degree, and so on and so forth. What makes the major scale sound the way that it does? It all has to do with the unique spacing we keep between the 7 notes. The spacing we use between each note goes like this. Between the first and second scale degree, we have a whole step spacing. Between the second and third scale degree, we have another whole step. Between the third and the fourth, we have a half step spacing. Then we have another whole step between the fourth and the fifth, another whole step between the fifth and the sixth, another whole step between the sixth and the seventh, and finally, when we go from the seventh back to the first scale degree, it is a half step spacing. This specific spacing of whole steps and half steps between the scale degrees is known as the intervallic formula. And the intervallic formula of the major scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Regardless of which note we begin on, we'll always use this same intervallic formula to build a major scale. So if you start on a C note and you want to build a C major scale, you use this intervallic formula. And it's the same thing if you want to play an F major scale, you use the exact same intervallic formula. Now, a great way to visualize the formula of the major scale is to play it along a single string. This helps you see the intervallic formula in the context of a fretboard. So let's get on that. So beginning on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, which is C note, let's try out this formula and hear what it sounds like. So beginning on this 1, this is the root note. We have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Now let's try it again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. Now take a moment to try this out yourself. One thing you should notice is that the C major scale contains all natural notes, meaning there are no sharps or flats. So let's check out this C major scale on a fretboard diagram. So beginning on this C note, on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, we have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step. Notice how the C major scale has all natural notes. The key of a scale is the note that the scale starts on. For example, we began the previous major scale on a C note, which means that scale is in the key of C. Now, the key is also often called the tonic or the root note. The formula for a major scale remains the same regardless of the key, which means that if we begin the scale on any other note besides C, we will encounter some notes with sharps or flats, because remember, C major scale is the only scale with all natural notes. So for example, if we begin on an A note, meaning we're going to play an A major scale, we will encounter the notes F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So let's check out the fretboard diagram again, beginning on the open string, the open A string. So we have whole step, which is the C sharp note, then half step, whole step, which is the F sharp note, whole step again and a G sharp note, and half step back to the A. However, the A major scale sounds like it has the same progression as the C major scale because the intervallic formula between the A major scale and the C major scale is exactly the same, just that the A major begins on an A note while the C major begins on a C note.